Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Tyler, and today I'm going to be bringing you a video entitled "The INTP is Worthy, Why Your NI Critic is Wrong." So previous videos that I have made were about cognitive functions of the INTP that can hold us back or be detrimental to us. And today's video kind of goes along those lines with the NI critic that we have. We have this internal critic in ourselves, very critical of what we want to get out of life. So today I'm going to try to explain why this NI critic is wrong and why you should reject this line of thinking. As INTPs, we have TI hero, and we can really use this to benefit our own lives. This is something that we hardly ever even think about. But TI is all about solving the most complex problems. So you throw out any problem in the world, the INTP is really going to be the best equipped to solve it. These logical problems that no one else can figure out, if you hand it to the INTP, they're probably going to come back with a very good answer or even multiple answers on how to solve that problem. Now, ISTPs also have TI hero, but they actually have SE as their second function, where we have NE. So we're really going to look at all the different possibilities, all the different ways of solving things, whereas the ISTP is much more practical. They like to tinker with things, so if they see a solution to their problem, they're just going to go for it. They're not going to wait around and say, well, is this better? Is this way better? And that's really why the INTP is the king when it comes to solving complex problems. And having this TI hero, it really gives you a way to hack your own life. If you're an INTP studying MBTI, you can really understand why you do certain things, why you are the way you are. Just for example, we have SI child, so we really like to be comfy. We don't like to get out of our comfort zone. FE inferior, we're really not great at social situations, and we're not good at handling other people's emotions. So having all this information at our disposal, we can see what our weaknesses are, we can see what's holding us back, and we can make a conscious decision to figure out what our weak points are, what our strong points are, and we can really use our strong points, in this case TI hero, to work and find solutions to our cognitive functions that are holding us back. The problem is that INTPs hardly ever consider this. Even though we are blessed with this hack that we can apply to our lives, we hardly ever use it. I see many INTPs not living up to their potential, being held back by their weak points, and there's honestly no reason for it. If you can identify certain problem areas in your life, it's really going to be in your best interest to solve those problems and just make your life better. If you are sitting there as an INTP with all these different problems that you feel like there's just no solution to, there's no way you're going to be able to figure it out, you're just wrong. And many times I think this is because INTPs a lot of times don't have confidence in themselves, they don't have confidence in their abilities. I know as an INTP growing up, I always felt like something was wrong with me because I wasn't good in social situations. I always felt like I was really awkward. I could never do the small talk thing, and I would just watch people talk and talk and talk, and I could not figure out why I couldn't do this. But now, knowing that I am an INTP and I have this TI hero, I have been able to find ways that I can improve upon my FE inferior. I've read books, I've tried my best to talk to everybody that I come across just to practice this, just to get better. These things are like a muscle. You got to work out, you got to do it. And over time, it's going to get better. It's going to get easier. And in this particular video, we're going to discuss NI critic, why it doesn't serve your purpose, and what you can do as an INTP to reject this and just make yourself feel better, make your life overall going towards the right direction. Alright, with all that being said, I will now quickly go over the INTP cognitive function stack, just to kind of give you a basic overview. So, TI hero, we've already talked about this a little bit. Logical problem solving, logical thinking, nobody's on our level. The NE parent, this is very concerned with different possibilities, different way of doing things, metaphysical, that kind of thing. SI child, we like to be comfy, we have pretty good memories, and we also like to take in good experiences. FE inferior, this is something that INTPs can really struggle with. Other people's emotions, other people's feelings. We feel like we're not very good at this. This is actually where our insecurities lie, in the FE inferior here. TE nemesis, we're really afraid that we cannot externalize our solutions. We feel like we have the best ideas, but they won't get done, or we cannot make it happen. And that's actually very true sometimes. NI critic, this is what we're going to talk about today. SE trickster, I did a video about this. We're not very in your face, we're not in the moment. We don't like physical confrontations or arguments, and that's because of our SE trickster. FI demon, if none of our other cognitive functions can figure out a solution to a problem, the FI demon will really demonize the person or the thing. We will feel like they are evil, they are doing the world harm. So you do not want to be in FI demon mode. But really the point of this video is going to be using your TI hero and your NE parent to figure out a solution to this NI critic, which really holds us back. Alright, NI, introverted intuition. This is the critic for the INTP. But what is NI exactly? NI is the ability to path out your own individual future. This is knowing what you want and having enough conviction in yourself to know that you have the right answer and this is what you want. Whereas NE is more focused on different paths, different ways of doing things. The NI is more concerned with the one true path, the one way forward. NI can be described as your gut feeling. You're not sure why this is true, but you just know it is. You could say that these people have a lot of common sense. INTPs are usually described as book smart but not street smart, and one reason for that could be that NI is not high on our stack. NI is very concerned with what I want to do, what future I want for myself. They are not as concerned with how other people turn out, other people's futures. All their focus is going to be on their own path, their own way of doing things. NI is knowing that you're on the right path and having the confidence in yourself and your intuition to see it through, have the willpower to see it through. These people are usually very sure of themselves. At least I know INTJs are. I haven't met a lot of INFJs, but a lot of times they just have this confidence aurora about them because they are just so sure of themselves. The NI dominant knows what their desires are, what they want, what future they want. It has no concern, like I said, for other people's intention, what other people want. All they care about is what they want. And that's not to say that they're selfish or arrogant, which many times they can come off as very arrogant. But they just know their path. They know what they are going for, what they are heading towards. They have this deep conviction inside themselves. Even if other people might say they're on the wrong path, they're not doing what they should be doing, they're not going to care. It's basically, at least when it comes to their own life, it's my way or the highway. Now, maybe they want to have a family and take care of their children and provide them with a nice life. Maybe they want to have a very successful business. Maybe they want to be very good at their job. It could be one of these things or it could be all of these things. And just as an aside, if you're dealing with a NI dominant, you might as well just let them make a decision. Now, as an INTP, this is one reason why INTPs and INTJs work very well together, is because our NE will feed their NI with all these ideas to choose from, all of these different possibilities. But what they can do and what they're good at is taking all that information in and coming up with the right solution. Now, it's not always to say that they're right. Just like everybody else, they are wrong sometimes. But that's just like us as INTPs. Our logical thinking is not always right. You know, it might be right 98% of the time, but there's still that 2% where while we may be the best at solving these complex problems, our TI may have missed something. And that's really a big fear for INTPs, and it really shouldn't be, but that's a different topic. Moving on here, it's not only about knowing what you want, it's the willpower to focus on these desires and see them through. NI dominant people have a lot of willpower. They will see the end and they will just have to get there. There is no waiting. There's one path forward and they got to get there. There's no question about that. Whereas INTPs can sometimes get very lazy, start a project, put it off, put it off, put it off. And I dominance will not have that problem. They will know what kind of project they want to produce, what they need to do to get to that project finish. And then once they do that, their only focus is going to be doing it, getting it done. They will focus on nothing else until this happens. So if you're an INTP watching this, you can really tell that this is not high on our function stack because we just honestly don't have a lot of willpower. However, like I said, with your TI hero, you can figure out a way to deal with this, to have more willpower, to fix this flaw in yourself. Your NE parent then can think of ideas to do this, to figure out a way to have more willpower, and that's usually the point where you stop. But that's the kind of things you have to get out of. You can't stop there. You have to do these things, and you have to put them into practice. NI is not a strength of yours. Willpower is not a strength of yours. So what can you do to improve that? Other MBTI types will not be able to think this way. They will just see their MBTI type and say, well, that's just how it is. That's how I am. That does sound like me. But us as INTPs can see this stack, and we can figure out what we need to improve, what's missing in our lives, what's our strengths, and we can use this information to better ourselves. And I would just implore you today, if you get anything out of this video, remember that. Use your TI hero to solve your complex life problems. You're going to do yourself a favor, and in the end, you're going to be proud of yourself for making that change and getting to where you want to be. Not even sure why I put this last point here, but villains are many times portrayed as INTJs, which are NI dominant. So if you've ever seen Breaking Bad, Walter White is an INTJ. Gus is an INTJ. These are not going to be the crazy, psychopathic villains. These are going to be the people that want something. They don't care what they need to do to get it. They're just going to get it. So INTJ is kind of your prototypical villain, and I just thought that was a little funny aside there. Alright, so INTPs and the NI critic. This is a terrible critic function to have. This is detrimental to our lives. Whereas other MBTI types can have critics that are hurtful to other people or make things hard on other people. For example, if somebody has NE critic, they're going to be very critical of other people's intentions, of how other people are bringing up possibilities. If you have FE critic, you are very critical of other people's feelings. You care more about how you feel about the situation. But this is not the case with NI critic. This is something hard that the INTP has to deal with. You're really going to have to figure out a way to reject this NI critic. So the terrible thing about having NI critic is that it makes us criticize our own wants and desires. Anything that we want out of a situation, instead of being very critical of the other person, trying to figure out what they want, we're going to be more critical of ourselves and what we're trying to get out of the situation. And if we somehow get what we want out of the situation, sometimes we can even feel bad about that, feel like we're a bad person because we did that. This is a couple choosing a restaurant. The INTP says they want to go here. The other person says they want to go here. The INTP will many times be just fine with going to wherever they want to go. And once they decide that, they're not going to change their mind. They're going to be like, nope, we're going to the place you said. If we go to the place I said and it's a bad experience, that's my fault. Now that's on me. I'm going to feel really bad about that. Now, I mean, that may not always be the case, especially if it's someone that the INTP doesn't necessarily respect, but they really want the other person to have a good experience, and they really don't even care if they have a good experience. Really, if the other person is happy, we're happy, and that's not a bad thing, but we're still not getting what we want. We're still not getting what we desire. As far as desires, that can go for people too. We could want somebody in a romantic relationship, but we feel like we don't deserve them. We feel like they are above us. we're critical of ourselves for even feeling that way. We feel like we had bad intentions. And obviously this is not something good to deal with. I honestly can't think of a worse critic function than NI, because we just aren't going to go for the things that we want. If we have something that we desire, we're not going to have the willpower to make it happen. We're going to basically say, if it's not very easy for me to do to get this thing I desire, then I don't even want to mess with it. I really honestly don't even deserve it. This is going to be seeing the nice new car on the lot that we really, really want, and we can afford it. We can actually easily afford it, but we're going to feel very critical about that. We're going to say, well, I need to save up money. Why am I going to spend all this money on a new car that I don't even need? Whereas other MBTI types are going to go buy that car, enjoy the experience, enjoy driving. We're going to continue driving the old car that we've had for years that hardly works, that needs a lot of things fixed. So instead of enjoying that good experience, we're not, just because we felt bad about buying that new car. It's really anything, honestly. It's very hard to deal with. So we're not concerned with reaching the future that we want. Many times we are more concerned about helping our friends and family reach their goals instead, and not even caring if we reach our goals, our future that we want. Again, you can see why this can be a very bad thing. And I mean, it is honestly a good thing that we help our friends and family reach their goals. But you have to remember that you are a person too. You deserve to go for what you want. You deserve to reach the future that you want, you desire. So what you need to do is start doing things to get to that future. Let's say that car example again, you start saving for that car, you start saving for that car. And many times, I've noticed this with myself a lot, when you kind of get close to reaching your goal, it's almost like something comes up. It's almost like fate. It's like, I desire to get this, but I can't now because of blank, blank, blank. And it's almost like many times we even undercut ourselves to not get the thing we want, to not get the future that we're desiring. And it is just so detrimental because we don't want to put in the work to get things that we want. But what you got to realize is that you as an INTP are just a powerhouse. You bring so much value to the world. You bring so much value to the people around you. And I'm not trying to boost your ego or anything. That's not what this video is about. But what I'm saying is that you deserve to have the things you want. You deserve to have the desires that you really deep down want. And that's what NI is all about. Just knowing deep down what you want and seeing it through to the end and getting it, focusing on nothing else until that goal is accomplished. You have to use your TI hero to really question why the NI critic is like this. This is not serving our purpose. This is not getting us to the place that we want to be. Like I said, it's great that we let people do what they want sometimes and let them choose and help them reach their goals. But you just have to remember that you yourself also deserve to go where you want, to get on the path you want. And you always need to remember that. Again, very critical of our own intentions. So this is like having the friend that you like more than a friend, really wanting to make a move to say something, but you are critical of this intention. So you almost do everything in your power to keep things platonic, to keep things like they are, because you're critical of your intentions and you're saying, if I do this, I'm going to screw up the friendship. Why do I even desire this? I really honestly don't deserve her or him. And it's just a terrible thing to have to deal with, because like I said, you bring so much value, you bring problem solving ability like no one else to the table, and you deserve to get what you want. You have to fight that NI critic. You have to think of solutions, ways to complete this goal and not feel bad about it. If you want to have that very successful business that all your dreams will come true when it becomes as big as you think it can, doing the small things every day to get you to that future, getting your business plan, getting the funding, and not halfway through not having the willpower to see it to the end. That's another big problem with me. I can't tell you how many books and very good books I have started and I just could not read it through. I would read the first 3 or 4 chapters, and the information in it would just be so great, would just be so groundbreaking to me. And I was like, I need more of this. I want to read more of this. But I just didn't have the willpower. And that's all it was. It's just the willpower to keep reading. How many different things would I know right now if I just kept reading those books that were providing so much value in what I was reading and finishing them? I have missed so much information because of this lack of willpower. And books, by far, not the worst thing that has happened to me because of this NI critic. There have been things, there have been relationships that I have wanted in my life, and I could have easily had them. Easily. But I was so critical of myself, so critical of what I wanted, that I did not do it. How detrimental has this been to my life? Out of all the critics, NI critic is, and you might disagree with this and let me know, is the worst critic function to have. And I've talked about this the whole time. This is obviously not beneficial to us. So what can we do about this? We can use our TI hero to find his truth that NI critic is not in our best interest and it doesn't help us serve our purpose. That TI at any time can overrule one of our cognitive functions if it finds that this is not beneficial to us. And what we can do is use our NE to figure out how to get out of this, how to reject this NI critic, to figure out ways to make this better, to have more willpower, to not feel bad about wanting our desires and getting what we want every single day, doing something that's in our best interest to get to the future that we truly deep down desire. And I'm going to talk about some of these things on the next slide here. Alright, that brings me to my final topic of the day. Use your TI to reject the NI critic. So I've already covered this quite a bit, but what you really need to do is believe that you deserve the future you want. This is financial, this is lifestyle, this is the relationships you want. You, just like anybody else in the world, deserve that. Quit believing that you don't deserve this because it's just not true. You have NI critics, so you don't believe that you deserve the things, but as TI heroes, we can say that NI critic is not in our best interest. We reject that. We have a right as just human beings to go for what we want, to see the future that we want and do things every single day, having the willpower to get there. So you really just have to believe deep down, convince your TI hero that you deserve it and there's no reason you don't. Do not be critical of yourself for doing something for you. So like I was talking about this in my last video, the SI child, how it really makes us many times lazy and not wanting to get out of our comfort zone. I made a point in that video to say, don't be critical of yourself if you fail and you don't do the uncomfortable thing. You have to have lazy days every now and then. You have to chill out. You have to buy that video game and play it. But you just can't feel bad about doing these things. You have to buy that car that you can easily afford. I'm not saying go out and buy something you can't even afford and it's going to get repossessed in 4 or 5 months. I'm saying be rational with what you want, but just go for it. You deserve to drive around that new car. You deserve to date the beautiful man or beautiful woman. And don't be critical of yourself for wanting those things, for going for those things. Start going for what you want. Keep helping others. I'm not saying don't help others. I'm saying help yourself too. You have the most logical mind out there. Now, logically, can you see why it would be a good thing to do things for yourself, to get the things you want? You're going to have a better life. It's not that hard to see that being critical of your own wants is detrimental to yourself. So what can you do to avoid that? Do things for yourself. Go for the things you want. Don't feel bad about doing that. Don't even feel a little bit bad. I already covered this a little bit. Just be more direct about your romantic relationships. So I talked about on the last slide about maybe you have a friend that you want more as a friend. what you need to do is to start doing things to possibly build up to that. You need to have the courage, you need to have the willpower to be direct. Say, hey, I would like to be more than friends. And she's going to say, yes, I've been feeling that way too. What took you so long to bring it up? Or she's going to say no. And you're going to be saying, well, I'm not going to risk that friendship. That would just be too weird. Well, if the friendship is really that great, she's not going to care that you brought this up. She might make fun of you a little bit. She might really give you heck about it. But if she's really this great friend that you have, she's still going to be your friend and she's not going to care. You were critical of yourself this whole time for wanting to do that, but your TI hero probably didn't think about, well, is she really that great of a friend if I bring this up and we're no longer friends? I mean, is that really going to be that detrimental to your life? I don't think so. And like I said, as an INTP, you can and will bring so much value to a relationship. Any problem that your partner has, you're going to be able to fix it. You're going to think of different ways to fix it. If something's not working out, you're going to think of ways to fix it for them. If they're having problems at work, if they're having financial problems, you're going to say, well, this is a way to make more money. This is a better way of conducting your business. And you might say, well, Tyler, I don't make a lot of money. I'm not, stashing a lot of cash in the bank. But be honest with yourself. Is that because you can't do it or because you're almost just too lazy to do it? Be honest. Besides financial reasons, you could have went to college and got any degree you wanted, including medical doctor. All you would have had to do is study, study, study. Your brain would have been able to digest the information easily and you would have aced everything. And if you're a young INTP, you can still do this. If you have enough willpower to go for the degree or the thing you want, you can do it. You just have to put in the work. It's that simple. But just again, getting off topic there, you're just going to be there for that person. You're going to be very loyal. INTPs are among the most loyal MBTI types, if not the most. So don't feel like you don't bring anything to people, because that's not true. If you are a healthy, well-developed INTP, you can literally make their dreams come true. And if you don't believe that, I think you're wrong. And again, just continue to help others reach their goals. This video isn't about being selfish. It's just about being not critical of yourself for wanting the things you want. So like I said, but don't forget about your own goals and ambitions. You have to work a little bit every day to get to where you want to be. You have to have the willpower. You have to quit being lazy. And I'm not saying you're not going to have lazy days. INTPs need lazy days, but quit coming up with excuses of why you can't get the future that you want. If you're saying, well, Tyler, I'm overweight and I can't get a girlfriend, well, you just need to have the willpower to work out every day to get into great physical shape, and maybe you're not going to look as bad. Anything you want in life, you can easily get it. I'm saying easily. As an INTP, you're going to know what you need to do. You're going to figure out all the solutions of how to get there, but you're just afraid that you can't do it and you don't want to go for it because of this NI critic. I mean, just really think about it. If you put all your time into something, all of your effort, all of your thinking power, what is it out there that you cannot reach? And again, this isn't a pep talk. This is not a motivational video. I'm just saying that INTPs are blessed with this TI hero. We can take the weak points of ourselves, work on them every day, and we can start to make them strong points. Us as INTPs are all in this together. We need to help each other get to where we want to be. And that's what I'm trying to do with these videos, is just say, use this gift that you have been given, the TI hero, the NE parent, to figure out what your true problems in life are and to fix those problems and to apply any solutions that you come up with. If you come up with all the solutions but don't carry it out, it's just worthless time. You just wasted all of your time. So have a little willpower, have desire, have the ability to go for what you want and to get the future that you want, because that's what we're all going for. We're all going for that future where we're happy, where we're financially secure, where we have the family we want. And there's honestly no reason you can't get there. Well, that's all I have for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. I hope it was helpful. Subscribe to the channel for more. This is my 4th video that I have made. I have many different ideas. I believe my next video is going to be about the FE inferior and ways to deal with that. So just make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Please comment below with your thoughts. If you think anything in this video was incorrect or you feel like my thinking wasn't straight, just let me know. Also let me know in the comments, do you always feel like you are criticizing yourself? Do you as an INTP feel like the information in this video is true, that anything that you go for or you want, you feel like you don't deserve it? But I hope this video will help you realize that you do deserve it. So thanks again for watching, and you guys have a nice day.